What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Iron Digital. I'm your host, D Wills, and in today's video, I'm going to go over this quick news about the Grayscale DeFi Fund launching. So as you can see here, we're on their website, Grayscale DeFi Fund. What you can do is you can scroll down here. You could take a look at the quick fact sheet, and you can look at more in-depth prospectus, I guess you can say. And let's see what's going on here. We got this report by Grayscale. Let's get into this report real quick. Okay, so they start off by asking, what is DeFi? Often described as traditional finance meets decentralization. DeFi is an umbrella term used to describe a variety of financial applications that use smart contracts to allow autonomous execution. This means that services typically provided by intermediaries such as an exchange or clearinghouse can instead be deployed as code running on an open blockchain network such as Ethereum and are accessible by those who have an internet connection and digital asset wallet. The DeFi market, as measured by total value locked, has grown from $1 billion in June 2020 to over $50 billion today. TVL is the value of assets locked in DeFi smart contracts and is an indicator of protocols usage and liquidity. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to go through a little bit of it. And so you can see they have this chart basically telling you the different protocols in the decentralized manner, centralized, which you probably want to stay away from the centralized. Both of these, actually, stay away from these two columns. Just stay on this column. And so for the stable coins, you have the Maker for MakerDAO for DAI. You have the Compound for borrowing and lending, Uniswap, Synthetics to play the derivatives market, Data, the Oracles, the Chainlink, and then you have the asset management, Yearn Finance. And so we have it all in a decentralized manner. We have it all in DeFi, and you can see that they kind of give a brief overview about MakerDAO, Compound, and Uniswap, which is some of the larger projects that's been around pretty much since the beginning for DeFi. So obviously that would be where they have the most trust in. And I'm also going to read this conclusion. Pay attention to what they're saying. Pay very close attention to what they're saying. Today, over 2.3 billion people are excluded from the traditional financial system, and even more lack access to sophisticated services such as borrowing, lending, and asset management. Decentralized digital assets are revolutionizing the global transfer of value and require decentralized financial services to support it. While DeFi is still nascent technology, it has the ability to revolutionize the global financial services market, estimated at $21 trillion. $21 trillion, people. And pave the way for a more accessible and efficient financial system. DeFi protocols pose heightened regulatory concerns. That is because financial services are extensively regulated with a particular focus on intermediaries such as banks, broker-dealers, exchanges, clearinghouses, and custodians. Any action taken by policymakers or regulators to address risk of DeFi could have a material adverse impact on an investment that derives value from DeFi. To that end, it is critical that investors carefully evaluate the merits of using DeFi and seek independent advice before investing in any DeFi protocol or underlying digital asset. Projects such as Uniswap are actively working to combat potential regulatory scrutiny through a lobbying fund. Now, notice how in the conclusion they talk about the opportunities. What are the opportunities? The opportunities is that there are 2.3 billion people that are not even in the traditional financial system. That's the opportunities. I believe there's like 7 or 8 billion people in the world. If you have 2.3 billion people that are excluded from the system, look at how many more people that you can onboard into the system. I mean, that's about a quarter of the population that's without banking. And then you look at what our current infrastructure, you look at what the current value of financial services are today, and it's $21 trillion. That's what it's estimated at. We've seen earlier in the article, DeFi only has about $50 billion wrapped up into it. Look at how much if If DeFi could even get 10%, just 10% of the financial service market, so $2.1 trillion. $2.1 trillion from $50 billion being locked up right now. That's a what? That's a 10, 20, 30, 40x, I believe. Yeah, I believe that's about a 40x. A 40x from where we are at right now. And that's only to get to about 10% of what the financial service market is estimated at. And so Grayscale's not stupid. They see this, they know this. That is why they have this fund. That's why this fund exists. So as an investor, what I'm looking at is if I see that, okay, we got 2.3 billion people that's not banked, and then it's already estimated at $21 trillion in the traditional, financial services market. Like, that's a wealth of opportunities. Look at how much money you can make right there. And so when you see all of this FUD that's going on, when you see the markets is falling, and the markets are falling, I mean, especially today, the markets have fallen. Notice the opportunities that are there. Grayscale would not be opening up this fund if they did not believe that DeFi could actually contend, that they could actually compete with the traditional financial legacy system. They wouldn't. It would be a waste of their time. You look at what's possible. Like, this is money. I smell money. 2.3 billion people, $21 trillion estimated. That's money. That's money, people. Let's check out this fact sheet real quick. See what the breakdown is. Uniswap, they have about 50% in Uniswap. Now, Uniswap, I believe, is the largest decentralized exchange that we have. So that would make sense. I mean, look at how much they have. 50% in Uniswap alone. Aave, 10%. Compound, 8. Curve, 7. MakerDAO, 6. SushiSwap, 4. Synthetics, 4.42%. Like I said, a lot of what they're invested in is the protocols that's really been launched in the very beginning of DeFi. And so, like I said, that obviously makes sense. Now, what's happening in a lot of the DeFi protocols is that they're noticing that this is where the risk comes in. They're noticing that a lot of the DeFi protocols do have admin keys, and that basically they could shut everything down with the admin keys. I mean, even if it's a multi sig wallet, that doesn't even matter because one person could control all the wallets. You really don't know who's behind that. And so there are definitely some risks that are available right now in this market. But with the market being so new, you'll never be able to get away from that right now. As an investor, and I'll put it the way my mentor, he told me. Shout out to Eli Whitehead from What Happened to Common Sense. He says that as an investor, you need to be looking at this as, okay, this has a problem right now with the potential to solve it in the future, because there's no need to invest in it when the problem has already been solved. You want to invest in it when the problem is there, while there's still risk there, because that's going to give you the highest return on investment. But they need to at least have the potential to solve it. And everything, all this DeFi stuff, yeah, they do have problems. I mean, even when you talk about the whole decentralization, centralization thing, well, it's almost impossible to start without some kind of centralization, period, right? In the beginning, usually it is more of a hybrid between centralization and decentralization. It's just hard to get it to that point of complete decentralization. So a lot of times what they'll do is they'll start off centralized, and then the goal is to work towards decentralization. Even Cardano was doing that. And so we just have to be mindful of that. But as an investor, this is how you should really be looking. All of this stuff has problems. All of these have potential issues and problems, but that's why they will offer you the biggest return on investment, because the problems are still there with the ability to fix it. Once the problems are fixed, a lot of that reward is off the table. You're not gonna get that big of a return on investment. And for those who are really looking for that life-changing type of wealth, you're not going to get that kind of life-changing type of wealth if you decide to invest in everything after the problems have already been fixed. You do that when you got like millions of dollars, when you got money. Okay, let's check a couple things out with this fund. Okay, you see they have assets under management. Okay, it really is up to 2.4. Now, the minimum investment is for $50,000, and you see this is for accredited investors. You see the manager's fee, 2.5% annually, which is kind of, I'm not going to lie, that's a bit hefty. 2.5% is, that's a little bit, yeah, I think that's on the expensive side, but that's what it costs. I believe this comes out to be like, what, $45,000 or $50,000 a year right now, and it's at its current value under management. But as that value increases, obviously the annual fee is going to increase. Now, $2 million is not a lot of money at all, like at all. So the fund will continue to grow and the fee will get larger, and we will see what happens. But I just wanted to do this quick video about the Grayscale DeFi Fund and the fact that even though you're hearing all of this negative press about crypto, even though there's a lot of negative stuff that's going on about crypto, you still have things like this that's happening behind the scenes, and it's not really being put out there in the front for like the average person to really see it. But as an investor, this is the kind of stuff that I look at. Like, I'm looking at this kind of stuff because if big money is willing to come in and get behind DeFi and basically pump my bag from the stuff that I already own, then that puts a smile on my face. It lets me know that I'm in the right direction. Now, if they're not looking at DeFi and like no institution, no banks, no none of that stuff, none of those institutions are looking my way, that could potentially be a problem. So this is where we're at, people. This is where we're at with DeFi. And again, like I said, the writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. As an investor, this is the kind of stuff that you need to look at. I don't care what the market is doing in the short term, because that short term noise, I really don't care about that. I'm looking at what is the market going to do 2 years out, 3 years out, 4 years out, 5 years out. And make no mistake, 5 years from now, $50 billion is going to be chump change in DeFi. It's going to be so much larger than that. And again, if you get your money involved in this stuff right now, you could possibly make a 40x. You could possibly make a 40x return on your investment. It's not guaranteed, but judging from where we're at right now, compared to if we were to get at least 10%, and that's just 10% of that finance sector. What if we get 20, 30, 40, 50%? That number just goes up. Now you're looking at a 80x or 100x return on your investment. The opportunities is here now. Do not blow it. Do not waste it. This is like a once in a lifetime opportunity for massive transfer of wealth. Do not lose sight of that, because there's a lot of media that's going to be giving you the negative so that your sentiment could turn bearish and you can get out of crypto completely. That's all the news I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take it easy. Peace.